Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be predicting the scores of week 13 of the 2019-2020 Premier League season. And look who's back.
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah.
Back again.
Call a friend, yes. And guess who else is back as well?
Mr. Happy Jose Mourinho getting the Tottenham job. We'll discuss that later.
That's going to shake things up a bit. Yes. Brilliant. Okay, but before we get on to this week's predictions, let's have a quick look back at how well we got on in week 12, which seems an absolute age ago now.
So in week 12 I had 9 points with 2 perfect results, that being Leicester to beat Arsenal 2-0 and Wolves to beat Aston Villa 2-1.
Yeah, I also had 2 perfect results, but coming away with 8 points. And those 2 perfect results were the Wolves versus Aston Villa 2-1. I think a lot of people got that scoreline perfectly correct, and I also went for the Leicester City versus Arsenal fixture as well, which was also 2-0. Representing the viewers last week was Free to Bet, a regular contributor, and he or she, not sure which, came away with 9 points last week, so well done there, Free to Bet. Overall now, though, Nathan, totals for the season is you're on 90 points, I'm on 94 points, and the viewers as well are on 90 points, so it's getting very tight now in our little league. Top scorer of week 12 though, with a magnificent score of 16 points, what was for the second game week on the trot was David. So David, congratulations on that score, and I'm going to be having a close look at your tips for week 13. For those of you playing along in the Fantasy Football League, I'm going to leave the top 10 at the end of this video. I'll probably go in a little bit more depth in the next few weeks or so, but haven't really looked at that in any sort of detail for this international break. So without further ado, let's crack on and make some predictions.
Okay, so first up we have West Ham versus Tottenham. Now, Tottenham are, of course, sacking Mauricio Pochettino on Monday night. Very shocked about that. Why would you sack a manager halfway through the international break? It's very baffling, isn't it?
Very strange. However, I think he was given the option to leave. He didn't take that and was thrown out the door, pushed out of the door, you could say. Tottenham themselves find themselves in 14th position, but they're only 3 points behind 5th place Sheffield United. So it is very, very, very tight in that sort of middle section of the Premier League at the moment.
Yes, indeed, but of course replacing with Jose Mourinho, who came out in 2015 and said, I will never manage Tottenham because I love Chelsea too much. Look what's happened now. Clearly Jose's a bit forgetful with what he says to the media, and to be honest, Tottenham don't really play a style of football where he just plays it and parks the bus. Very defensive. I don't get how the attacking line of Son, Kane and Lucas Moura are going to cope with that. To be honest, I think this is going to be the club that he's going to struggle at. I can't see Tottenham winning the league under him, and I reckon he'll be out the door at the end of the season, personally.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I think he's going to have a stinker at Tottenham, as they say.
Okay, and your predictions for this weekend?
But for this weekend, he's barely had a day or two to look at his team before Saturday, coming up against a West Ham team who we haven't touched upon at all. They're sat in 16th, haven't won in over 6 matches. Going to be a tight affair. Tottenham haven't, of course, with their away struggles, and I think that's going to continue. It's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I think Jose Mourinho, he does know what he's got there at Tottenham. He's currently, I think he has been a Sky pundit, of course, on Soccer Sunday rather. So he knows all about Tottenham. Can he get in there, ruffle a few feathers? I know a lot of their players have been on international duty this past week or so. So he's going to go in there. Probably won't be able to do too much in the first week. However, they're coming up against the West Ham's side who haven't won in the league since the 22nd of September, where they beat Manchester United, Mourinho's former team, of course, where they won 2-0 at home, but struggling big time. I know they have been creating chances, but just not putting them away. Tottenham, I think they're going to come away with a victory in this one, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 narrow scoreline in this one to the Whites. Next up, we've got the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday, and that's Arsenal against Southampton. Arsenal leaking goals. Southampton absolutely terrible at the moment, down in 19th position, losing 5 of their last 6 matches.
Just as bad as Norwich.
Yeah, Arsenal in 6th position. have only won themselves once in the last 5 matches, but at home, surely Arsenal are going to beat Southampton. If they don't win this one, then Arsenal fans, they're going to explode. They will be exploding.
Could you imagine Arsenal fans? Oh.
I know. So, I'm going to go for a win on this one. I think Southampton will score.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I can see the Gunners winning this one. I'm going for a 2-1 scoreline to the home side.
Well, put it this way, a goal is definitely getting through that Arsenal defence. It is awful. But at home, of course, Lacazette, Aubameyang, not sure if they're going to stay after this season, especially with everything that's been going on. Arsenal fans, the majority of them, hating on Unai Emery and wanting him out the door. I bet they're angry that Tottenham's sacking Poch after 5 years after he's brought them a good run, but Arsenal can't sack Emery, even though he's basically done nothing for them. Many Arsenal fans are going to be angry about that, but after the international break, I think they're going to be ready and raring to go, and they're going to have a rare win, so it's going to be 2-1 to the Gunners.
Arsenal, yeah, exactly the same as me there.
Next up, we've got Bournemouth versus Wolves. Now, Bournemouth, they're doing okay. They've only won once in their last 6 matches, getting a lot of draws recently, a lot of 0-0s as well. But looking at Wolves, 8th position, haven't lost in over 6 matches, also getting a lot of draws, but getting those odd wins as well, especially when they beat Villa 2-1 last week. But I think this is where Wolves are going to start picking up a lot of wins from now onwards. Traore seems to be on fire. Raul Jimenez as well, looking really good, and Ruben Neves back scoring those worldies. And I can see this one being a 2-1 victory to Wolves.
Yeah, tough one to call this one. Bournemouth, I think
anything can happen.
Yeah, last game week, they went up to Newcastle, lost narrowly, 2-1, but I think Newcastle were the better team on the day. Bournemouth at home should be a little bit strong, but they're not really blowing anyone away as such. I know in their last home fixture, I think they beat Manchester United 1-0. Wolves, turning things around now quite nicely. However, I think they've drawn quite a few of their last 4 or 5 matches.
They've drawn 7 matches.
So I think this is going to end up in another draw. Yeah, a lot of their players coming back off international duty, probably a lot of Portuguese there, and Bournemouth as well. So I'm going to go for a stalemate in this one. I'm going to go for 1-1. Next up, we've got Brighton at home against the Foxes, Leicester City. Leicester winning, I think it's 5 of their last 6 matches. Fantastic run of form at the moment. Away to Brighton. Brighton have been, holding their own. They're in that sort of cluster of that sort of middle of the Premier League at the moment, where it is very, very tight. One win will propel you up the table, up into those European places. So I think Leicester are going to be too strong for the Seagulls in this one. Brighton may cause them a few issues, but no, I think the quality in Leicester City's ranks is fantastic at the moment. I'm going to go for a 2-0 away victory to the Foxes in this one.
Yeah, Brighton's form as well, you got to add into there. It's been very up and down. Look back to a few game weeks ago. They lost one, then they won one, then they lost one, then they beat Everton and Norwich, which isn't that difficult with the state that those clubs are in.
Well,
and then they lost to United,
all at home, so maybe they can cause problems for Leicester at home.
I think they might cause problems, and I can't see him causing problems against Leicester. Leicester just look ridiculous at the moment, and I can actually see this one being a solid Leicester 3-0 away win, because bearing in mind Leicester do just as well as away as they do at home. So I think it'll be 3-0 Leicester. Next up, we've got Palace versus Liverpool. Now Palace in that cluster as well, losing their last 2 matches, so they are starting to go downhill a bit. Did get that draw against Arsenal away. I thought that was a really good result, but apart from that, their last win wasn't until over a month ago against West Ham, and they're down there. So and they're coming up against the Liverpool side, who are just unstoppable at the moment, haven't lost all season, looking really good, and that's just going to continue, and I think it's going to be 3-1 away win to Liverpool. Salah, Mane, Firmino. As always. Is
Salah back now off injury, or?
Not sure.
Don't know. We'll have to check that one out. in the last 4 matches, Crystal Palace, they have had tough oppositions. They've lost against the likes of Chelsea, Leicester and Manchester City, coupled with that away draw against Arsenal. Prior to that, they did gain those victories against Norwich, who everyone's beating now. Pookie Party's well and truly over, I think, and West Ham as well. So in this fixture, Liverpool... Yeah, I thought there might become a little bit of a dip in form for Liverpool, but they're still winning games. So I'm going to go for a win to Liverpool. It's going to be narrow, but I think it's going to be a dominant narrow win, which is a contradiction into narrow win. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to the Reds in this one. Seems as though Liverpool can't really keep a clean sheet at the moment. 2-1 to Liverpool in this match.
There'll definitely be something slipping through.
Yeah. Next up, we got Everton against Norwich. Now, Norwich, bottom of the table at the moment, losing 5 of the last 6 fixtures. Everton slowly turning things around. I think they've now gained 2 victories in the last 4 fixtures, but I think they're going to have too much for Norwich at home. In the last 2 fixtures, Everton went away to Southampton, which was a tricky match. I think I've predicted a 1-1 draw in that one, where they come away with a win, and at home they got that draw against Tottenham, but Tottenham all over the place at the moment, as we know. But I'm going to go for a home win in this one, straightforward to beat Norwich, really 2-0.
Sure. This should be just a standard win for any Premier League club at the moment, especially with the way that Norwich's defence has been absolutely ripped to shreds, and their attackers have just stopped working.
I think they have got injury problems.
I mean, Norwich get the task manager up because you need to close Pookie's application, but I can't see Norwich winning a game anytime soon, really, against anyone, unless they get Southampton in a few weeks. Then maybe they might be able to get a point, but this should really be a solid 2-1 Everton win, and I can see that happening with hopefully Richarlison getting 1 or 2 goals. So 2-1 Everton. Next up, we have one of the biggest matches of the weekend. That is Man City versus Chelsea, 3rd v 4th, of course. Man City losing, of course, to Liverpool. Liverpool looking very dominant in that game, where they that's their 3rd loss of the season for Man City, which that's not something you'd expect from a team that has won the Premier League twice on the trot, especially a Guardiola team as well, considering they haven't lost many games in the last few seasons. But coming up against the Chelsea side, who have won their last 6 matches. Chelsea look dominant as anything. This is going to be a really tight match, I reckon, but as it's at Man City, and Pep has probably been sorting a lot of things out during the international break, even though they are having those defensive crises at the back at the moment. I can still see Man City winning this one, and I think it's going to be a narrow 3-2 victory to the citizens.
Lots of goals, and Chelsea in fantastic form at the moment. Going away to Manchester City. Manchester City have to win this match, I feel, otherwise the title is probably gone if Liverpool beat Crystal Palace. So I'm going to have to go for a Manchester City win, even though that even against Liverpool they had their chances. We can talk all day about VAR on how they should have had a penalty there, and all sorts of controversy with that. We could talk all day about VAR and how it should be thrown in the bin and all that sort of thing, but I'm going to go for a Manchester City win in this one. They have to win, which surprising against Chelsea as well, how well they're doing.
Exactly.
It'll be a great game to watch this one, I think, and I'm going to go for 3-1 victory to Manchester City. I think there'll be goals in this one. Okay, next up we've got the only Sunday fixture of the weekend, and that's Sheffield United against Manchester United. It takes place at 4:30. So Sheffield United, fantastic at the moment, find themselves in 5th position. Surprisingly, we've got Manchester United in 7th position, having only won once, having only won twice at the last 6 fixtures.
But that was against Norwich and Brighton, though.
Kind of turning things around a little bit, you could say, but
I don't know.
Who is it? Rashford's getting in the goals now. Martial's back in there. James is doing well, playing well for his country and for club as well. I think they will get a goal against Sheffield United, who's got a very, very mean defence. Have they got the tightest defence in the league? I think they have, after Leicester. No, Leicester have conceded 1 less goal than them. But I think a lot of people I've seen in this one tipping Sheffield United to win this match, and I'm going to have to agree. I was weighing up going for Manchester. It could even end in stalemate this
Anything could happen.
but I'm going to go for a Sheffield United win for this one. The way they play, I think it's going to cause havoc for the Red Devils in this one. I'm going for a 2-1 victory to the Blades.
Yeah, I don't think the Man United defence are going to be able to cope with Sheffield United's overlapping centre-backs, especially Lundstram.
Who plays in the field.
Yeah, well, he's classed as a defender mostly. He's classed as a defender on Fantasy FPL, and he's been absolutely lethal this season. Well, the whole team really has been lethal, except for Billy Sharp, who could turn up a bit more. But anyway, we'll mention him. But Sheffield United, that form is going to continue. Man United, I think they're going to start to stumble now, and see why. They need to get someone like Mauricio Pochettino in charge, even though I doubt he'll go to Man United to manage in the Europa League. Pochettino I can see going to probably Real Madrid or someone like that. Definitely somewhere abroad. So I can see this one being a 2-1 Blades win.
Same as me then.
And finally, on Monday night, we have Villa Newcastle, which is also a really tricky game to predict. Villa, 17th, lost their last 3 matches, really struggling at the moment, whereas Newcastle, 13th position, won their last 2 matches, but I mean, Steve Bruce has got to play good football. The Longstaff brothers doing well in the middle there. Their attack is playing really well as well.
Maxim as well.
Saint-Maximin, yeah, he looks solid.
When he gets on the ball, okay, sometimes there's not a lot of end product, but he looks a very exciting player.
Very exciting player, especially when we saw him play against Cardiff in that Nice game as well. He looks solid in that one.
I think he came on as sub in that one.
Running loads, honestly, and he wears a Gucci... he also wears a Gucci headband as well, which is class. Class in the Premier League.
Oh,
but,
dear.
Really?
Yeah.
But moving on to Villa. It's hard to identify what's going wrong with them. Maybe they could score a few more goals. Maybe they could shore up the defence a bit. But put in the comments, Villa fans, how you think your club needs to improve and actually get a win in sometime in the future. But yeah, I think this is going to be a stalemate anyway. Being at Villa Park, what a ground that is. I can see that there being Wesley goals and maybe an Almiron goal, because he's really been calling for a goal recently, and he's been getting all the shots in, just keeps on getting saved or going wide. But I think this is going to be
his own player.
Or hitting, of course, his own player. And yeah, I can see this one being a 1-1 stalemate.
Yeah, tricky one to call. I can see Villa winning this one, Newcastle winning this one, or a draw. So there's going to be plenty of goals. I don't think Villa have got too much trouble scoring goals at the moment. Newcastle,
just defence, and
it's very hard to predict how Newcastle are going to, results-wise, how they're going to perform, and this one is really one to keep away from on the coupons, guys. So I'm going to go for a draw on this one. Goals, so I'm going to go for Desmond's. I'm going for Desmond's 2-2 in this one, all square. So that concludes our predictions for week 13 of this, the 2019-2020 Premier League season. As usual, I'm going to leave a template of the fixtures in the description. If you want to play along, then make sure you copy and paste them into your comment. And like David, for the last 2 game weeks now, you can get a shout out in the next video. And also on Friday, probably in the evening or late afternoon, something like that, I'll be picking somebody at random to represent you, the viewers, in our little league table. Remember, I think, you're on 90 points, the viewers on 90 points, and I'm on 94. So an exciting weekend ahead for us. So Nathan, before we go, is there anything you'd like to add?
Search my channel, link in the description below.
Excellent. You've got any videos coming out soon?
Yes, the Wales vlog from Tuesday night should be out by the time this video is up. So go have a look at my channel in the description below, guys. Excellent, well done. Thanks for watching as always, guys. Enjoy the football of the weekend, and we'll see you real soon. Cheers, guys.